Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your second morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. And you can also follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. And don't forget to follow the Queen Shakur fan page also on Instagram. Okay, so let's get into it. I want y'all to listen to this. But first, let me give you all a brief lifeline, okay? Now, I want you all to pay attention. Listen to this. Man suffers organ failure and amputation after eating leftovers. Now, I thought this was important to discuss amongst Black folk because I know that some of y'all eat those leftovers for 5 to 7 days, and that's just far too much, especially around Christmas and Thanksgiving. Y'all know some of y'all do, eating that old turkey that's been sitting in there for days. I absolutely know it. So listen, a young man who developed sepsis after eating a leftover lo mein meal needed multiple amputations and suffered organ failure, according to the New England Journal of Medicine. This is so ghastly. Sepsis. Do you all know what that is? The case was published in March of 2021, but is only getting attention now after a YouTube user created a video based on the case last week. The video has quickly garnered 1 million views. Now, according to the report, a 19-year-old man was fined for almost 20 hours after eating the meal, which included rice, chicken, and lo mein. It was obviously Chinese food. Pay attention. And it was prepared at a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, I'm sure. That's what they serve there. Now, after that, he experienced abdominal pain, nausea, and began vomiting. Other symptoms including worsening diffuse myalgia, chest pain, shortness of breath, blurred vision, a stiff neck, and a headache. 5 hours before he was admitted to the hospital, his skin began turning purple. Are y'all listening to this? This sounds ghastly. Now, the patient was eventually taken to the pediatric intensive care unit at the that Massachusetts General Hospital has. So once there, the man was treated for organ failure, shock, skin molting, and a rapidly progressive reticular rash. This all sounds so... Can you imagine just from eating leftovers? Like, seriously, people, y'all better think twice, okay? Now, at the hospital, doctors learned that the patient's friend ate the same meal and admitted to vomiting once, but the friend's condition did not worsen. The patient had no known drug allergies and lived in northern New England. Now, after blood and urine tests, the patient was diagnosed with Neisseria meningitis, not meningitis, meningitis, a potentially deadly bacterial infection that caused his blood to clot and liver to fail. His skin necrosis was caused by purpura fulminans. This is also ghastly. And by the way, sepsis is a condition where you start to actually grow a bacteria in your blood. Okay, very dangerous. People die from that. Now, a rare complication with meningococcal septicemia, that's what he also had, complications from that. The purpura fulminans was a side effect or a complication from that, the meningococcal septicemia. Now, doctors learned the man only received 1 of 3 doses of meningococcal conjugate venom and had only 1 dose of serogroup B meningococcal venom. Now, the CDC recommends 2 or 3 doses of that venom. So y'all heard that right? I'm talking about skin peeling off, turning purple, a huge rash that continued to spread, numerous amputations, liver failure. This is also sad. I mean, all of that, you were hungry? Man, that is so crazy. Whew, y'all better stay away from those leftovers, people. This is serious business. Not even funny, okay? So that was y'all's lifeline for today. I just wanted to warn you because, like I said, I know many of you all eat those leftovers for days after Thanksgiving and Christmas, especially. And Plies did a video about that years ago. Remember, Plies did an Instagram video about that? Said after that 3rd day, Stop it. Don't even think about it. Okay? Some of y'all should have listened. Let's talk about this case where these men, where these men shot this guy while he was in the car, in a parked car. 2 officers at JPSO, which is Jefferson Parish Police. Okay? Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, I'm going to be showing you 2 news reports about this because one of them is where the mother is speaking. Hold on, people. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please get the likes up. Like and share. Okay. So 2 deputies arrested are, hold on, I skipped something. Okay, Jefferson Parish Sheriff Joe LaPinto announced that his office has arrested 2 deputies that were involved in the shooting of a man that left him dead. He was in a parked car in Marrero. So I'm going to let you hear what the sheriff has to say about this. And mind you, this man was sitting in a parked car. Now, it all started because they asked him to get out of the vehicle. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance.
Good evening, everybody. Sheriff Joseph Pinto here with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, I'm here to announce the arrest of 2 of our officers tonight. We're arresting Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, 2 of our members that were involved in the Deputy Ball shooting from last week. I want to give you some of the scenario of what occurred last week. Around 2:15 a.m. on the 16th, our officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero. Upon their arrival, they were encountering a gentleman in front of a known crack house.
I'm going to switch the volume. Just a second.
They were there for the sole reason to really investigate a noise complaint from the
Okay, hold on one second, people. Hold on. There was 2 videos played in the background, so I was trying to go back and start over because I heard something playing in the background. All right. So bear with me just a moment while I pull that back up. Okay, here we go.
Good evening, everybody. Sheriff Joseph Pinto here with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, I'm here to announce the arrest of 2 of our officers tonight. We're arresting Isaac Hughes and Jonathan Lewis, 2 of our members that were involved in the Deputy Ball shooting from last week. I want to give you some of the scenario of what occurred last week. Around 2:15 a.m. on the 16th, our officers were dispatched to the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero. Upon their arrival, they were encountering a gentleman in front of a known crack house. They were there for the sole reason to really investigate a noise complaint from the next door neighbor. Unfortunately, this neighbor has been threatened by this group of individuals from a crack house for years to come, and so she was being disturbed at that point in time. Mr. Daniel Valley was in a vehicle in front of that location. Mr. Valley was in a vehicle that had a switch plate. Unbeknownst to my officers at that time, was also one for questioning reference to some thefts out of Blaque Parish and also in reference to an overdose investigation out of Gretna. He refused to cooperate with our officers, with them for over 12 minutes. Our deputies on the scene, which included 5 total officers, were on scene. Not only did they ask him to get out of the vehicle so they can investigate the crimes over there, plus the additional crimes that were happening or that he was investigated for, they asked him, they begged him, they threatened him, trying to get him to come out. He refused to cooperate during that period of time. The vehicle was running at one point in time, which he actually turned the vehicle off and blocked the vehicle doors. Kept putting his hands up but would not cooperate and would not come outside the vehicle. After this going on for almost 12 minutes or so, Mr. Valley decided to start the vehicle back up. That, of course, escalated the situation. Numerous of my deputies drew their weapons at that point in time, expecting them to try to take off. They begged for him to turn the vehicle off, to not put the vehicle in drive, to not put them in this situation. I can tell you, I believe without a doubt, they believed he was going to drive off at that point in time. Had one officer that was positioned directly in front of the vehicle, and another one that was positioned just off to the side in front of the vehicle also.
Okay, I'm not going to play all of that because it's like 15 minutes long. So basically, the man was sitting in the car. They asked him to get out. They ordered him to get out, and he refused. And at one point, he even locked the doors. So kill a man for driving away. Make that make sense. Absolutely. So the cops were definitely in the wrong, but I want you to pay attention to something. I want you to pay attention to something because this happens to Black people every day. The man that got killed was white, and the cops who shot him and killed him were Black. Pay attention. They were arrested immediately. Okay, so let's go to the video where the young man's family, the mother, is speaking out about her son. Okay, likes up. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. Okay, I'm about to share my screen.
Sheriff's Office says it is interrogating deputies involved in the fatal shooting of a man inside an SUV.
Deputies say he refused several requests to exit his vehicle and was fatally shot after he started the engine. Rob Masson has more.
Gunshots rang out in the 500 block of Wilson Street in Marrero at 2:15 this morning.
I heard the gunshots. It happened about 2-something in the morning. By the time I got dressed and came out, I seen what I seen.
The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office received a 911 call and approached a man in a white SUV. They say he refused their repeated requests to exit the vehicle as they spoke to him for 15 minutes before they say he was fatally shot after starting the vehicle's engine.
But man, I can't even tell you. It was. I tell you what, more than 5, 6. I mean, it was a lot of, stuff. Shots.
He didn't have to get shot down like he was nothing. He was a human being. They could have handled it differently. They could have broke the window. They could have tased my son. They could have handled it differently.
Tammy Jamauer says she got the call this morning that her 32-year-old son, Daniel Valley, was dead.
They've been speaking to him for over 14 minutes. They knew the situation. They had time to think.
The sheriff's office says deputies who were in the path of the vehicle discharged their weapons after Valley started the engine. But neighbors and friends want more information.
You think he would run them over? No. I couldn't tell.
It is not clear what the nature of the 911 call was that led to this fatal police shooting, but residents here on Wilson Street say this neighborhood has been a hotbed for suspicious activity.
They could have done a whole lot more than what they've been doing. Now they decide they want to do something. After that, they could have prevented that from happening.
The deputies were wearing body cameras, but the video has not been released. The sheriff's office is expected to say more later as the Jamauer family tries to figure out how they will bury Daniel, who is a father of a 13-year-old girl.
He didn't have to get shot down like he was nothing. He was a human being.
From Marrero, Rob Masson, Fox 8 Local First.
The Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information about the shooting to give them a call as their investigation continues.
So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Saudi said, well, watch the Mayo Clinics is going to use that race as a race war trigger. Terry King said, those black race soldiers are in trouble. Most of the time, it's a black victim. But why so trigger happy? Once they get used to killing us, they may start killing unarmed white folks too. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I tell you what, those two are definitely going to pay. And at the end of the day, here's the thing. First of all, in my opinion, they didn't have to shoot that man. They did not have to shoot him. Okay? Wrong is wrong. They didn't have to shoot that man. And at the end of the day, well, they're in jail where they belong. Now, the thing is, how come the same doesn't happen to the Caucasian police when they shoot and kill black people for no good reason? Okay? Just because someone cranks up their car, that's no need for you to kill them. If they're going to flee, you have their tag, right? You have their tag information. I mean, you can quickly find out who they are. I'm just saying, honey, that makes no sense to me. Decatur Raider said, I think the chickens are coming home to roost. Likely so. Vampire Hunter said, they will not release that video. Mayo is not going to allow white death to be shown on the news. You know what? I guarantee they won't release that. You're absolutely right. They're absolutely probably not going to do that, okay? So we can watch it over and over and over. No, that likely will not happen. You're right, beloved. FBA Rod said he should have complied. Yes, he should have. That's what they love to tell us, right? When it's a black person. Della says that's how we feel when they shoot our black unarmed men. They're quick to lock up the black police when they shoot a white person. Yes, absolutely. Well, you already know that, honey. You already know that, right? When I saw caption of this broadcast, I was surprised. Police charged for shooting a man parked in his car. Wow. Now it becomes clear. Exactly, beloved. You see why they got locked up. Okay, it says they are quick to lock up black police when they shoot a white person, but never quick to lock up a white police officer that shoots a black. Absolutely. Queen Adai says, where have they been for their very own? We don't know what happened. We may have felt threatened. We don't know if he had a gun. Get rid of the known crack houses. Yeah, that's why that neighbor who lived there, that's why he said they haven't done anything. Now they want to do something. They could have prevented all that. And they said there was rumors of shady stuff going on in the neighborhood. So clearly they knew there was a crack house there, right? Terry Hinn said, but he wasn't in compliance. Right. Country Boy said Jefferson Parish ain't gonna arrest no Mayo cops, but they will show arrest black cops with the quickness. Oh yes, let me tell you something, honey. This happens all the time. Now listen, if you think back to the black cops, it was a black and a Hispanic cop who killed those two white people during a no-knock warrant raid that went wrong. It was prior to Breonna Taylor. Okay, it was prior to the Breonna Taylor murder. So at the end of the day, they went to jail. They got arrested and charged for killing those white folk, even though the white folk were firing back at them. They both grabbed guns and had a whole shootout with the police. And they were killed, but those police were punished for doing that. Okay? Now, and of course the people were shooting back, but they did have drugs in their house. I want you to pay attention. They tried to paint Breonna Taylor as if she was a drug queen pin. And then after that didn't work, they tried to say that she, was dating someone who was a drug kingpin. And remember, they even lied at one point of the video footage that I showed you all. The cops even lied and said that she shot first when she never shot at all. It was Kenneth. So they told all those lies to try to cover for the cops in Breonna Taylor's case. But meanwhile, the two cops who shot those white folk and killed them, well, they are in prison, okay? They are in prison. So this is what happens. And let's not forget the black and Hispanic cop who shot at the white man who literally tried to run them over with his vehicle. And they killed his son accidentally because they didn't even know the boy was in the car. They charged the cops with that. Now, they didn't charge the father with his own son's death, which they're supposed to do according to their own laws, right? According to their own laws. And if you remember, a few weeks ago, I told you all the story about a shootout at a football game. As the football game was ending, two teenagers, 16 and 18 years old, got into a shootout or something. One of them fired a gun, and the police were there. And the police started firing their weapons. A little 8-year-old girl, Fanta Ability, Remember Fancybility, the little black girl, 8 years old? She got killed, hit by a stray bullet. Well, the police, they said the bullet that killed her came from the policeman's gun. But guess who's going to prison for it? One of those 2 teens, they're being charged with her murder because that's what they do. Someone gets killed in the commission of a felony, even if you didn't kill the person, but you're involved in the felony, they'll charge you for it. So why did they charge that white father? I'm just curious. We know exactly why. Okay. B. Mosby says, same with the cop that accidentally shot the toddler who was in the back seat, whose father was the target. Absolutely. El Monroe says the blame game. Yep. Tracy says it's the 10-year mark since Trayvon was murdered. Yeah, also crazy. Just Biz said give the cops 24 months. Okay, right, exactly. And let's see if they get a judge to cry for them. Okay, let's see if they get a judge to cry for them like Judge Chu did for Kim Potter. And then let's see if we get a Plantation Mammy judge to give them a Bible and words of encouragement and hugs before they go down. Okay, like Judge Tammy the Mammy Kemp did for Amber Geiger. We won't see any of that. All right. Denise King says Satan protects his children. So with that all being said, Eric Sanders said he was simply trying to use his new... Wait a minute. I know you didn't say what I thought you said. Hold on. Let me go back to that comment. He was simply trying to use his new Joe Biden crack pipe. So nefarious. Okay. I'm going to throw this whole chat away. Anyway, with that all being said, and did you know that Zimmerman was trying to sue Trayvon's parents? Yes, absolutely. He's still at it a whole decade later. You know what? I need to talk about that. Yes, I absolutely read about that the other day. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Make sure you all like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell, right? And click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. But listen, I'm going live at 10:30 on the original Queen QueenAShakur show. We need to talk about Israel Adesanya, right? He's still defending Joe Rogan. And he's actually saying that they're using the controversy, to cancel him, to take away his power, which is likely true. So we're going to talk about it at 10:30. So everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you are not subscribed to the original Queen QueenAShakur show, make sure you subscribe to that channel, okay? And so with that all being said, I hope to see you all in the next chats. Peace.